Did you know your banker is addicted to porn? What about your son's teacher? He's addicted to porn as well. That personal trainer at the gym, also a porn addict. The guy that's knocking on your door trying to sell you solar power, also addicted to porn. No person is immune to any addiction. We know celebrities, we know high level athletes, we know pastors that struggle with drugs and alcohol. We know the same to be true when it comes to pornography and sex addiction. But the problem is, most of us don't want to accept it. We don't pretend and act like this is not a real issue. We want to push it aside. We're even unwilling to address it in our own life, unwilling to accept the fact that, hey, maybe we also have a pornography addiction. You know, it wasn't until 2019 that I actually began to get hold and begin to speak truthfully about my struggle with pornography addiction. At this point, it had been 20 plus years that I'd struggled with this behavior, but I never looked at it as a major problem. I wasn't going to accept that I could be addicted to the pornography and that was holding me back. But then I heard a podcast. Then I had a friend open up, someone that I truly respected, and talk to me about his personal struggles. And I said, you know what, Zach, that sounds a lot like me. Those same struggles, those same challenges, the lack of confidence within myself. It's exactly the way that I felt. You know, I embarked on the journey back in 2019 of sharing my story and launching the Superhuman Life podcast. My goal in the beginning was to change the paradigm around how people viewed pornography addiction. I think still to this day in 2024, when people think about the type of man that struggled with a pornography addiction, they think of the unachiever, the unmotivated, the guy that's living in his mom's basement, eating Cheetos and playing video games all day long. But that wasn't me. And I know that's not you. The men that we work with here at Rebuilt Recovery are the men that are building the world. CEOs, entrepreneurs, business builders, community servants, pastors, fathers, coaches, men that you interact with on a daily basis, men that you shake hand with every single day. These are the men that are struggling. And because we're unwilling to have the important and necessary conversation, these men don't feel like they have a place to go to get the help that they need. Recently, on one of our group coaching calls, we had a lot of new attendees on this call. One thing we do every single time we have new men join the group is we'll go around the horn, we'll go around the group, and everybody has an opportunity to share their story. Talk about where they came from, what they've struggled with, the breakthroughs that they're having once they begin to work on fighting this in their lives. What was truly unique and inspiring about this call, though, is that every single time a new man stepped up and started to speak, he would make a comment about how common and how similar every single guy in the group was to him. These were men from across the country, multiple time zones, different age groups, different backdrops, different ethnicities. But they all related on one thing, that they had had a struggle in their life that they kept secret for a really long time. No man is immune to a porn addiction. And until we begin to actually have the necessary conversations and provide the right places where we can have these discussions, guilt-free, shame-free, judgment-free, until we begin to do that, no man will feel like he has a pathway out of this. That has been my goal since the beginning, to create an environment where it doesn't matter who you are, where you came from, what you do on a daily basis. It doesn't matter how much money you have in a bank account. It doesn't matter how many Instagram followers you have on social media. It doesn't matter how many people know your name. If you do not know who you are and you do not know who God called you to be, your life will lack peace. Your life will probably lack meaning. And I know for a fact your life will lack fulfillment because you will be caught up in a behavior that is limiting you from reaching your potential as a man. It starts with us accepting it in ourselves. Hey, my porn addiction doesn't make me a bad person. The fact that I'm addicted to porn doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with me. Now, if I accept these things about myself and I begin to recognize them and I don't take action in changing them, now that's on you, brother. But for 20 years of my life, I struggled with something that I didn't know was a struggle because nobody was talking about it. Nobody was asking me the questions. Hey, Frank, is this something that you're participating in? Does this feel normal to you? When I first started creating YouTube content, my goal was to speak to the younger version of myself. Every single time I turned the camera on, I thought about what did young Frank need to hear? Maybe that's where you are right now. Maybe you are the version of me from 10 years ago. Maybe hearing a guy on the other side of this that has transcended this addiction, that has gone on to build an incredible life, that has gone on to use his story to impact others, that has gone on to spread this message and impact millions of people across the globe. Maybe that inspires you to do something very, very similar. But it starts with taking ownership of your life. And it starts with realizing that, hey, I'm not alone. There are millions of guys just like me. There are millions of fathers. There are millions of business owners. There are millions of pastors. It doesn't matter. But if we're afraid to have the conversation, we begin to suppress it down, if we begin to look at this as this is not a real addiction and continue to do that, men will stay stuck. Men will stay shackled. But we can lock arms. We can fight this together. No man is immune to pornography addiction. Now, maybe you've recognized that in your life, this has become a crutch. This has become a limiting factor on you reaching your potential as a man, and you're ready to do what it takes to get out of this. I put together free training on the 12 steps to break free from this addiction in just 12 weeks. Click the link down there in the show notes. Visit rebuiltrecovery.com/12 steps. You get access to this training. This training has been the blueprint for the protocol that we've taken almost 1,000 men from caught up and struggling to live a life free of pornography. We're giving the training to you today absolutely free. Rebuiltrecovery.com/12 steps. But guys, let's raise awareness. Let's remove this shame. Let's remove the paradigm around not discussing pornography. We need your help. Are you willing to share this? Are you willing to do what it takes to get it out of your life and then help the next guy that needs your help? God bless you guys. Coach Frank at The Rebuilt Man. We love you. And see you in the next one.